Hello students, this is Baldev Satish from Global Education Center. In today's session we will be focusing on nutrition in animals. In the previous two sessions we understood how nutrition in plants takes place, that is we learnt about the process of photosynthesis, requirements of photosynthesis, and at the end of the session we also understood the process how in nutrition in amoeba is observed. Okay, in today's session we will be focusing on nutrition in animals. Now as you all know, animals are heterotrophic, meaning we depend on other organisms for the food sources. Likewise, in today's class we will be focusing on how the heterotrophic nutrition works. So when we talk about heterotrophic nutrition, the first thing is, what is a food? A food is a nutritive material obtained from a plant or an animal. Now in your lower classes also you would have read about food. So food is nothing but a nutritive medium that is obtained from either a plant source or an animal source. And with the current technology we also know that there are a lot of microorganisms which are utilized for the production of food as well, right? Okay, anyways, now when we talk about food in animals, there is one more process called as digestion. Now what is digestion? In simpler terms, digestion means breakdown of complex food into simpler food. Now in a more technical aspect of it, what is digestion? Digestion is a physiological process by which complex food materials are broken down into simpler food materials so that can be absorbed by the body. Now that is how we define the process digestion. Now when we talk about digestion, there are four types of digestion. Now what are these four types of digestion? The first type of digestion is called as intracellular digestion. Now what do I mean by intracellular digestion? Here there is a cell and the food is outside the cell, and what is happening? The food is taken into the cell and the process of digestion takes place. Reminds us of the digestion or the nutrition that is seen in the case of amoeba. So amoeba engulfs the food is taken inside the amoeba and the process of digestion takes place. Such type of digestion we call it as intracellular digestion. The second type of digestion is called as extracellular digestion, where the process of digestion takes place outside the cell but within a digestive tract. Now what do I mean by that? The food is taken into a digestive tract, and the cells present in the digestive tract will secrete certain substances which will bring about the process of digestion. So digestion happening outside the cell is what we deem as extracellular digestion, which is seen in the case of vertebrates, earthworm, and so on. Then we have something called as mechanical digestion. Now what is mechanical digestion? Whatever food that is being consumed by the animal has to be broken down into bits and pieces. A larger food complexes has to be broken down into bits and pieces. Now that is what we mean by mechanical digestion. A simple example for that is peristalsis observed in the food pipe of the human being. Now what is peristalsis? It is a continuous contraction and rhythmic movement of the food taking place within the food pipe. Now more about it we will be learning when we discuss about the human digestive system. So in mechanical digestion, larger food complexes are teared and broken down into simpler substances. That is what happens in the case of mechanical digestion. And then the last type is called as chemical digestion, where there are various glands again present in the human body, secretes various enzymes, and these enzymes act on the food and break them into simpler complex. Again, more about it we will be studying when we deal with human digestive system. Now this is how the process of or the types of digestion is further classified. Now moving on to steps involved in human digestion. Okay, so when we talk about digestion, steps involved in digestion, it also includes higher organisms as well. So these are common steps that are seen in higher organisms. Now what are the steps? First is ingestion, the process of taking in of food. Second is digestion, breakdown of the food that has been taken in. When we follow digestion, this digestion then leads to something called as absorption. Once the food is broken down into simpler complex, that is absorbed by the body. Then we have something called as assimilation. What is assimilation? Whatever food that is absorbed by the body has to be further broken down to yield energy. That is what we mean by assimilation. And once this process has occurred, whatever undigested food that is remaining has to be thrown out, and that process we call it as egestion. Clear? So this is how the steps of digestion is further classified when we talk about digestion in higher organisms. Now when we talk about human digestive system is further divided into two components. The first one is called as the alimentary canal and the second one is called as the digestive glands. Now let us look into the various parts of the alimentary canal and digestive glands. To start off the alimentary canal, the first part of alimentary canal is called as a mouth, which contains oral cavity. Now in the mouth we possess the tongue and the teeth, which helps in a process called as mechanical digestion. Now followed by we have the esophagus, or also in simpler terms called as a food pipe. Now if you look into the sequence here, first comes the mouth and then the pharynx, which is a common passage for both digestive system as well as respiratory system, and then we have the esophagus, that is nothing but the food pipe. Now once the esophagus then follows into the stomach, from the stomach it then enters into a structure of coiled tube called as small intestine. Then the small intestine moves into the large intestine then reaches rectum, where the undigested food will be stored for a temporary basis, and then there is anus, from where the digestion process takes place. Now these components, that is the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus, constitutes the alimentary canal. Now for the process of chemical digestion, we also have certain glands playing important role. Now what are those glands? If you look into the black labeling here, that is, to start off with, we have salivary gland, which secretes saliva. Then we have liver, the first largest gland in the human body. The liver possesses a small structure called as gallbladder. We will be looking into it in the next session, what is the function of it. Then we have pancreas, the second largest gland in the human body, and then in the lining of the stomach we also have something called as gastric gland, and in the lining of the intestine we have something called as an intestinal gland. So this is what human digestive system constitutes. It constitutes two components, that is alimentary canal, digestive glands. Now alimentary canal's major function is it helps in mechanical digestion, and it is also site for chemical digestion. And the digestive glands help basically in releasing enzymes, which brings about chemical digestion. Now in the next session we will be focusing on the function of each of these structures and how the process of digestion takes place. So until next session, have a great day, great week. See you in the next session.